madness, and it is definitely madness if I could describe this movie. So yes, there will be spoilers throughout this video. The bigger ones will be more towards the end, so as we gracefully walk through this crazy movie, just know if you have seen the movie, maybe you can watch like the first 5 minutes or so of this video, but as we go on and on and on, there will be more and more spoilers. So hey, if you click on this video and just want to give it a like, save it for later, that's awesome. Even just click on this video, even if you have no intention of watching the movie, is great. Also, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel for all the other randomness I post on this channel. It's just a big jumble of me, which is kind of crazy to think about. Also, comment down below if you have seen this movie, if you're going to see this movie sometime soon, if you maybe have been sort of changed your mind about it and you're gonna go see it, or maybe just some things down in the comments where, you know, again, if you haven't seen the movie yet, be aware of the comments, because again, comment down below maybe your favorite part of the movie, which there are a lot. With that being said, I think that's everything, and yeah, let us jump right into it. Alright, so like I said, I might just do a short little, maybe a synopsis, you could say, of the movie, and then as we gradually talk more and more about it, more things will come out of my mouth, and we'll probably get into more of the bigger things, and I guess the ending to it as well, maybe theories of the future of not only Doctor Strange, but also the MCU as a whole. That could be pretty fun. So, I did want to firstly start off with, I guess, a sort of brief description of the movie, which is kind of interesting to think about, which, by the way, if you just Google the movie, the sort of little snippet they give is, Dr. Stephen Strange cast a forbidden spell that opens a portal to the multiverse. However, a threat emerges that may be too big for his team to handle. That is definitely maybe the most vague description of a movie I could think of. Again, if you haven't seen the movie, I can tell you that's really not that descriptive. That's like not even really that true, if I'm being completely honest. Now, when the trailers first came out for this movie, it did look like that. It looked like just a Doctor Strange movie, obviously with the introduction of the multiverse and the talk about the multiverse with the third Spider-Man movie. Yeah, the Far From Home movie, obviously with Magneto talking about the multiverse and the multiverse being real. That all coming into a big old thing with the newest Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man No Way Home. And now, in this movie, you sort of see this idea of, oh, okay, so Doctor Strange is just somehow find themselves in the multiverse, traveling through different universes. And that's true, but it's because of someone, not because of himself. Here is a little bit more of a better description of the movie, so if you don't want to get a little bit spoiled, I apologize, but it says here, in this film, Strange travels into the multiverse, to protect America Chavez, who definitely was a character that I was a little bit iffy on when first starting out and knowing about the character, but as the movie progresses, I think the character definitely not only grows on Doctor Strange, but also on you as a viewer and a watcher, and I feel like it's actually really cool sort of growth of a character, which obviously in the MCU you don't really get a whole lot of anymore. It's usually just the same guys like Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, people we've seen before, but growing a character, I feel like as sort of a MCU viewer, you sort of forget how that sort of goes, and obviously with Shang-Chi, that was a great thing to sort of experience, and it's cool to see another new character introduced into the MCU. That seems obviously very important, because this teenager, quoting this quote, a teenager capable of traveling between universes. So this character has the ability to basically open up a portal, you could say, to a different universe in the multiverse. So if you think about it, this character can basically open up a portal to go to maybe the universe that, oh, I don't know, that opened up when Spider-Man, sort of in that movie with sort of the, the Green Goblin, the Dr. Octopus universe, or she can open up a universe to where people are animals, or she can open up a universe obviously with the multiverse, Doctor Strange finds himself having to protect this kid from someone trying to obviously harness that power. And he goes to someone who might have some intel on it, which would be obviously Wanda. Yes, WandaVision, the big witch herself, which definitely in the trailers seemed to be a really great idea. Obviously a Doctor Strange Wanda movie. I thought that's literally a match made in heaven, obviously, with all the sort of sorcery and witchcraft you could say that both of them have. It's actually a really sweet idea. But I'll say this first of all. I definitely stayed away from a lot of the trailers when coming up to this sort of big movie, I guess premiere you could say, because I watched it on the day it came out, and I didn't know Wanda was gonna be the big baddie in this movie. I didn't know Wanda was going to become the Scarlet Witch, and I think we all knew that she was going to become the Scarlet Witch, but there are multiple different, I guess, could you even say universes where the Scarlet Witch is, a neutral, a bad guy, a good guy. It seems to be she took the route of being definitely not the best, so she is actually the antagonist of the movie. Yes, so Wanda turns into the Scarlet Witch, and she's the big baddie, which, again, I only watched the first trailer to this movie, so obviously that one, when she's like walking through the field of trees, it looks all pretty. Doctor Strange asks for her help. Yeah, she's not very nice in this movie, I'll tell you that, which is amazing. And maybe this is skipping a little bit too far ahead, but Elizabeth Olsen in this movie might have, at least in my opinion, stole the show for me. And not even stealing the show, like, this is basically her movie as well. And in my opinion, she was my favorite part of this entire journey, because not only because you learn even more of a great in-depth character that Marvel has done, I would say, pretty well on sort of growing as a character. There's not a lot of them that Marvel has done well, but she's maybe the best one they've sort of kept up with doing, obviously, through all the Avengers movies, through her own TV series, and now this movie. She's a great character to follow, and man, I think her turning into the Scarlet Witch and really showing that character's true colors is, at least in my opinion, very cool. So Wanda's obviously trying to go to different, universes throughout the multiverse to, find some closure, happiness. Obviously at the end of the Wanda series, the WandaVision series, she kills Vision. Sorry, the spoiler there. And ends up having, dreams about her kids that were introduced through that show, and she really wants her kids, obviously, and obviously her being you could say a control freak. You could say she really wants to just live her own life, and if she can't have it, she's gonna go get it no matter what. And obviously that tying into her having some mythical powers and her getting obviously even more power throughout the witchcraft she got out through the WandaVision series. She does turn into the Scarlet Witch and goes after America Chavez, who is the girl, the teenager we were talking about earlier. And that basically caps off the whole movie. And again, I didn't know that she was even going to be the antagonist throughout this entire build-up to the movie. Maybe you did, and that's really cool. Or maybe they showed it in another trailer. I only watched the first ever announcement trailer, and that's it. I didn't touch any more trailers because I love surprises in these MCU movies. So I just want to let it be known in this video, it's not going to be like this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened type of review. I'm just going to be talking about stuff that I really liked, I really enjoy. If it does somehow travel down the right path, cool. But if I'm jumping everywhere, which way, hey, that's just how this video is going to go. So I think it's a good little setup to the movie, I would say. Anything else I can really talk about that isn't too spoily? I mean, the movie was really good. Again, how can I say this? It's definitely the most different Marvel movie I've, obviously, with Spider-Man, No Way Home, that was sort of the first introduction of sort of the new age Marvel that could really grow off of that. And I feel like in this direction, if this movie does do well, which I think it will do somewhat well, I feel like this might not only be a new direction that Marvel takes a lot of their movies, but I think it's great to, again, shake things up. And I feel like for so long, and the MCU has just done basically the it's finally cool to see really big differences in not only plot lines and how they sort of are set in sort of the storytelling, but also just like the way they can shoot things, the things they can add, the things they can say, the things they can control throughout the movie making process that makes things look different. And this movie is so different than any other movie. Just from the camera angles, the cinematography, the way things are shot, the way things are sound, the way things sound. And I think one of my favorite parts for this movie was the silence. Hey, that was kind of cool. The silence in this movie when something would happen or something eerie is going on. Man, the silence in this movie hits so good in key moments, and I think just throughout the movie, it just looked and sounded amazing. But also with that, like I was talking about with Spider-Man No Way Home, trying to tie it together, it's almost, you could say, a mature movie, even not rated R, but definitely not a kid-tailored movie. And if I'm being kind of honest, I feel like it was almost even teeter-tottering on the edge of like, this is a lot of, witchcraft, demon, they talk about hell in the movie, like, it was teetering on the edge of like, ooh, like, this could be a lot. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, if there were maybe a handful of families out there who, maybe walk out of the movie theater because it might be a little bit too, demon, sorcery, witchcrafty, books from hell and blah blah blah. Like, I feel like it was close. I feel like it was okay. Obviously for me, I didn't have a problem with it, but I feel like there are some people out there that may not like this movie just based off of that fact alone, and also for some other things that we can talk about a little bit later in the video. But yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I love how different it was, and it has its moment. Do I think they should do it again if there were to be another Doctor Strange or Wanda movie? To be honest, no. I hope this is a done deal, closed thing. I'm gonna start going into spoilers because I really want to talk about this movie a lot more. Okay, I'm gonna start talking about things I liked about the movie and things I maybe disliked about the movie, which I already talked about a little bit with the sort of teeter-tottering thing about the witchcraft, dark magic, sorcery, witchcrafty thing. But things I did like, though, the cameos. And yes, I think this is probably the part that everyone wants to talk about. The Illuminati. And this is a part that I only knew about because like 5 seconds of a Twitch ad played when I was like away from my TV, when I was watching someone on Twitch, and that part played, and I heard the name Illuminati, and I heard a very familiar voice, and I'm so pissed that I got spoiled on that. That's why I hate watching trailers, and I hate the fact that they play trailers all the time on YouTube and Twitch. Please just keep it to the TV audience or social media. But Patrick Stewart, obviously being Charles Xavier, that was insane, to be honest. Obviously him being the, Charles Xavier, Professor X in the X-Men movies from the very beginning of the sort of the Marvel days, which, man, again, those are like my first memories of watching like Marvel movies, superhero movies, like those X-Men movies are my first movies that I really watched, and I really, really, really enjoyed them. Obviously with Hugh Jackman and all those guys, like, and I love Patrick Stewart. I thought he did an amazing job sort of in this new role. He didn't look like he aged a day, which is usually how it goes, and I think he did an amazing job at his role. Do I wish it could have been more? Yes, but this, I think it also leaves a door open for maybe a potential turn, or B, it does close sort of a book in the sort of like, oh, what if thing in the sort of Marvel MCU, and either or, whichever way they want to go with this, I think it's perfectly fine. Obviously, again, spoiling, he dies, which really sucks, and again, this movie, a lot of death, which I like. I think it was good. I think, again, Marvel is dark. People compare Marvel and DC all the time, and how DC is this dark, gloomy thing, which it definitely is, but Marvel definitely isn't, sunshine and rainbows that sometimes the MCU shows. It's very dark, and you saw that again with Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man has no friends, no family, his aunt just died, so many things going on, and now with this movie, sharing that same theming, I think is good. It shows more real Marvel, stuff, which is amazing. Along with the Illuminati, obviously with Captain Marvel being there, but being a different Captain Marvel. Wait, yeah, Captain Marvel. I liked it. I thought that was cool. Obviously, a different universe. It can be a totally different person, and obviously they can't have the same person being Captain Marvel in a different universe. Well, they could have, but I don't know. I think it is sort of cool to see a different person play a character we are familiar with, and obviously they've shown that obviously with the Loki series, and then a couple of newish characters you could say. And the first one we can sort of talk about, Black Bolt, is a character I actually didn't know about until, kind of funny, I played the Lego Avengers game. If you guys remember, if you guys are fans of Lego games, they had the Marvel one obviously, and he's in it. That's the only really place I ever really knew about him. And yeah, the superpower is he has a very powerful voice, and oh my god, man, the crowd reaction when not only he was shown, which obviously again he's sort of like a cool sort of character in the MCU. I mean the MCU in the Marvel universe, not the cinematic one. But the way he died also had a pretty big crowd reaction, and the way again the Scarlet Witch is used in this movie is perfect. Again, I think this movie, again, Wanda, Scarlet Witch, stole the show, at least for me again. And in that scene with, Black Bolt being there, Charles Xavier, oh man, you could maybe call her a new Captain America, or maybe, I don't know if she's from England or not, I don't know. She is Peggy Carter, aka Captain Carter, aka Captain America 2.0, which is amazing. I think she did, again, an amazing job, and dies. Sad. Again, a very big crowd reaction, a big gasp, obviously, with her being maybe cut in half, you could even say, with her shield, or at least a big gash in her by her own shield, which again, Scarlet Witch, amazing scene, and I hope to God, she comes back. Black Bolt, I can understand him just being a sort of side character, but Peggy Carter, I feel like could have her own spin-off movie, or at least a Disney Plus show for sure. Like, she played an amazing role in her short amount of time, and again, I wish, just like with Charles Xavier, could add a little bit more. And then, again, talking about Captain Marvel with Maria Rambeau, who's the character who plays, I think, Captain Marvel, like the actual Captain Marvel's friend when they are training as pilots. I don't know, I don't really remember that movie, to be honest, but still a great character in her short amount of time. And then, yes, Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, aka John Krasinski, however you pronounce his last name. He has been rumored to play Mr. Fantastic for years, like a long time. And finally, he gets shown, and wow, what a pop this guy got in the theater. It was amazing. And again, his short amount of time, I wish it was more, but I think we will get more. Now again, obviously with, Marvel, not talking about the sort of the universe, I'm talking about the company Marvel has definitely left some doors open on how they can do this. They can, put actors back in their places through different things, or they can even recast actors and new heroes. So I guess if John didn't want to do this again, they could also recast him as a different, Fantastic Four, as in a different universe, a different sort of Mr. Fantastic, and I don't think they will. I think he probably will return, which is really cool to think about. But yeah, man, a pretty crazy death scene as well. It gets sort of torn apart, which is really disgusting. But again, his speak is sort of like how he does in the comics. He's very intelligent. I think it was really sick to see, I guess, how he did sort of play it off as him already being a hero for many, many years, and you can already see that. And I'm assuming that's maybe in the new Fantastic Four movie that's going to come out in a handful of years. If that's where we're going to catch up with the Fantastic Four, maybe they have already been heroes. Maybe it's not an origin story. Maybe they've already beat, Doctor Doom, or are going to fight Doctor Doom already. I think that could be a really cool thing to sort of pick up on, and not sort of have a whole movie where 3/4 of the movie is them figuring out their powers. You know what I mean? See, the Illuminati part of this movie was, again, probably the best part, the fan favorite part, and all of them were really amazing. fist fight because they couldn't use their powers. And I don't know, I thought, you know, it's funny because obviously the big, you know, reveal of the Illuminati was the big deal. And the return of him, his character, kind of was very underwhelming under all that stuff, which is kind of sad. So Marvel throws out a bunch of new, fun, new characters, and then he comes back and he's like, hey guys, I'm still here, but like, no offense, but no one really cared. At least that's my own opinion. And then we get to the ending of the movie, obviously with, you know, Doctor Strange fighting an evil-ish version of himself, and that fight scene was really cool. It was very different. It wasn't a typical sort of, again, magic on magic fight. It was new and interesting and fun. I thought it was a different sort of take on a fight, you could say. It was almost like a cartoonish comic vibe of a fight scene, which was cool. Again, it was a different take on it. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, and then obviously, you know, Doctor Strange comes back into his own universe using the dark magic, which is interesting, and it definitely takes a toll on his body for sure. And he turns out to take over a version of himself that's dead, which is just, again, teetering on that. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. And then all the demons coming to fight him, and then him using the demons to fight. Like, again, it was teetering on that. Like, this is getting a little bit weird, you know. And then obviously fighting the Scarlet Witch at the very end. That was a really cool scene. And then America Chavez uses her powers and learns how to use them. Believe in yourself, kid. Yada yada yada. And yeah, I really love the scene where the Scarlet Witch meets, you know, Wanda from another universe who has her children, and sort of seeing that, holy cow, I am actually a monster. And Wanda sort of calming her down, letting her know and understand that, hey, you know, this is how it is. Sorry you got dealt the bad hand of this Wanda lifestyle, I guess you could say. And yeah, I thought the ending was good. Scarlet Witch, I guess you could say, turns back to Wanda, or at least sort of realizes her wrongs, corrects her wrongs, destroys the dark magic book. Does she destroy the dark magic or the book? I think it's just the book, maybe. I don't know. And yeah, that was a very fast summary, I guess you could say, of the movie. I don't know, I just really wanted to talk about sort of like my favorite parts and sort of the parts I was a little bit iffy on, give a little bit of a quick little info spew on the movie. And I don't know, I would love to know your guys' opinions down in the comments about maybe your favorite parts, maybe your favorite characters that were introduced, and different things like that. And then also the ending scene with, I think actually a character named Clea, C-L-E-A. It's a comic book character that also has a sort of similar power who can sort of rip tears into different dimensions and portals and multiverses. Kind of a similar character to the American Chavez character, but I think she does dimensions more than just, I guess, universe that the other character can do, which is interesting. It's a cool take. Apparently that character and Doctor Strange sort of have a connection in the future. I'm assuming maybe it could be a love connection. It could be a turning of a good guy to a bad guy. I don't know, but we're going to have to see. So I think that was a pretty cool ending. When I first actually heard that person say, you know, Doctor Strange, I thought it was, say, but is it one of the top tier Marvel movies? In my honest opinion, I'm gonna have to say yes. And let me know down in the comments if you guys, let me know your favorite Marvel movies, how you sort of rank this one, yada yada yada. And yeah, I think that's mostly everything. I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to give like a little like, hey, I saw the movie. Here's like what happened and some of my favorite things about it. So I would really love to know yours as well. So let me know about that down in the comments as well. I keep saying that. Make sure you like the video. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know if you want me to do any more sort of movie things. Again, obviously there's going to be a ton of more other Marvel stuff coming out, and obviously with the new Thor movie, which Thor is my favorite MCU character. Should be a lot of fun. So yeah, make sure you subscribe to check all that out, and I'll see you again